Okay, so just so everyone's aware, we are recording. As I've noted previously, to those that were here a little bit early, there is an opening poll that's open. I'll leave that open for a couple of slides, so please take a moment to answer those questions. It'll help me frame a little bit of the presentation today. Looks like we have about 30 of our registered attendees in so far. We had 80, almost 80 in total that had registered today, so there probably will be some folks coming in as we go, but there is a lot of ground to cover today. So I'm going to get started right away here and with an introduction. There's a lot of ground to cover. Today's session is a update webinar, if you will, to show the new functionality in version 1.5 of the Prodigi software, which we're really, really excited about. It actually went live late yesterday afternoon here on the East Coast, about 4:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be spending most of the time showing the new features that have been added. However, I do see that we've got about a third of our attendees right now that this is their first experience seeing Prodigi for Windows. So I'll do my best to give a gist of what the software is about and point out some helpful resources that you can actually learn more. But I think throughout the course of the presentation, you will get a sense of what the software is all about as well. So my name is Roger Steinberg. I am the product manager for our low vision solutions here at Humanware. And again, I do appreciate your taking the time to join us today, and I hope you find this to be informative and cover what you hope that it does today. Again, that poll is still open. I'll leave it open for a few slides here. So let me start off just quickly by sharing our our mission here at Humanware. And it is to enable people with vision loss to fully participate. So on the screen, you see here an older gentleman using our Prodigi software on an all-in-one monitor PC solution with a keyboard. And he's using it to get ready to magnify a document in front of him. Again, this is our goal. We build assistive technology for use in schools, at work, at the workplace, and at home. And our overarching goals are to foster independence and confidence and keep people engaged, or keep users engaged with what it is that interests them and what it is that they need to accomplish. A little bit of why we have developed Prodigi for Windows, and then we're going to be moving straight away into a demonstration in a few moments here. But first at the top is to see more your way. So we want to allow you to magnify printed material with a document camera of your choosing, or one that we sell, or import digital content and then adjust it to meet your unique needs. So change the contrast, choose the color combinations that are comfortable for your eyes, and those types of things. Adjust the interface. We want you to be able to read more when you need to use speech. So we want to turn printed pages and text, or files of many different types, into readable text that you can listen to with text-to-speech. And then, of course, adjust that speech using a voice that you find comfortable, adjust the reading rates, and those types of things. We want you to be able to access books, to have an accessible reading experience. So there is a books application in Prodigi that allows you to download books from supported libraries, as well as import content, which I'll show a new import functionality today that fits within our books application, so that you can listen to books being read aloud, or simply read them with adjustable text, changing the fonts, colors, and so forth to your needs. And again, another addition with this update is the ability to handle audiobooks within our books application. Again, a huge part of this update that we'll be demonstrating today is to get help from an AI assistant when you need it. So think of it as a trusted colleague sitting by your side that can help you out as you go along to summarize, maybe translate, or help you to work with things that are in a different language, viewing handwriting even in many instances, that you can use it to expedite things that you need to do. So as with many softwares, we have the ability to capture text and convert it to speech. but not everything needs to be done that way. And certainly an AI assistant can help with that. So we'll be showing a lot about what we've done with artificial intelligence today. We want it to be an all-in-one reading and organizational platform. So storing things and being able to revisit those things that are captured and saved and having them organized, being able to import common file types that are necessary in school work or for home use, as well as in that books application, having access to books and magazine subscriptions that are available in accessible formats. And last but not least is the ability to use your own Windows devices, or obviously we sell some along with the Prodigy software, but this allows you to choose the personal computer, tablet, laptop of your choice, and then use it with a keyboard, a mouse, a touchscreen, whatever you need. And you pair that up with a document camera. The one that we sell is the HoverCam Solo 8, but this allows for the easy viewing of paper documents and then converting them and saving them to use with the Prodigy for software. So those are some of the rationales behind why we've developed Prodigy for Windows and why we're at version 1.5 to show to you today. So before I go into a demonstration mode in just a moment, I'm going to end the poll here, and I see that we've got about 33 that participated in the poll. 12% or 4 had identify as having low vision, and then 32 of 33 so that's a little bit of overlap there. 97% support individuals with low vision. 33%, 11, today is their first experience seeing Prodigy for Windows. So again, hopefully I'll do a good job of giving you a gist of what it's about while highlighting what's new in version 1.5. Looks like about 27% have done a trial or demonstrated the software, and 13 out of 33 or 39% said that they use the software. So those results should be shared or will be shared very briefly. And I'm going to now move along into a demonstration of the software for you. So let's take a look at that. Again, the chat is open, so you can send questions through there. I'm going to change my screen share right now so that you can see Prodigy on my laptop. Andrew, can you confirm that you are seeing Prodigy now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so I have Prodigy installed on my laptop PC right now, and I have a red locator bar that's encircling the header bar that includes the date, the time, my battery status, and my Wi-Fi status is connected to the far right corner there. In the center of the screen, I'll tab. Everything is tabbable as well as touch and keyboard navigable, as well as a mouse. So you see my mouse arrow there. I have mine in blue, a little bit enlarged, that I moved around there briefly. The center section is what we call our carousel. The red locator is moved to the magnifier. And then I'll tab again to the bottom. There are a couple of arrows here. Left will move me left through applications in my carousel. And if I tab once more and hit enter now, I can go to the right through my carousel and you'll see the AI assistant, which is a new functionality that we've added with this release. I'll be demonstrating that in a moment. We have the books application, which I've mentioned, and I'll be diving in there in a few moments. One more click on that right facing arrow on the bottom right corner, and I'm at my files. This is where I store imported files or captured documents. And I will tap enter again. That right arrow will move me over to my settings application. And one more tap takes me to my help application. I'm going to use my mouse now over in the bottom left corner to navigate back one click. And I wanted to highlight very quickly the settings, again, because we have some that are new to the interface. Right now, I'm in full color mode with black text on a white background and colors in my icons. So those are some things that might need to be adjusted to make for a comfortable user experience. I'll click on to settings here and it will open up a menu of settings that are available to me. And I just wanted to highlight a few of these. First and foremost is at the very top of the list is the user interface. And this is probably one of the more important ones that you would want to interface with immediately. I'll open that up with a click. Again, I can use a tap on the screen if I was in a touch screen. And here are some of the settings that are available to me. I'll quickly highlight a few of these. At the top of the list is my interface. We were seeing it with one icon at a time as we navigated through. I can have 2 icons on the screen or even 4, and this will reduce their size so that 4 show at any given time. So if I have enough usable vision, I can go to 2 or 4, and I can have a little bit more efficiency in the interface by having more icons on the screen at one time. So I've clicked on carousel 4 icons, and now I have a check mark, so I know that that's been activated. The check mark is to the right there, and you still see my red locator around that selection. I'll click in the upper left to back out, so you'll sort of get a feel. These back arrows and so forth are how I navigate around. And the second option in the list is my system language. I'll open this up very quickly, and you'll see that I have 3 different voices and languages installed. So my selection currently is Darius. He's a US English speaking voice. The other 2 that I have are Graham. It's a British English voice. And the third is Anthony, who is a Canadian French speaking voice. And I just want to I'll do a real quick here just so you can see what happens. I'll click on this French voice here in my list, and you'll notice at the top that my interface is now changed to French. So when I change the language, my system interface will change to that language as well as the voice so that things will be voiced back in that language. I'm an English speaker. I'm going to leave in English for today's presentation, so I'll go back to Darius here. But I can add and remove up to 4 voices at any given time. So I would just simply click on configuration at the bottom here and go find another voice to install it. So here I click on English. You can see the 2 that I have installed. And at any time I can click on one of these and submit, and I can have those changed out. So I'm not going to go into that deeply today. It's covered in videos, but you can change the voices that are available to you and the languages. We have about 18 languages and a little over 40 voices to choose from there. My colors, again, recall in the carousel a moment ago, was full color. There's an array of colors to choose from here. On the right, I will scroll down so you can just sort of get a sense: yellow on black, cyan on black, green on black, and so forth. So there's multiple different color options that you can choose from. But I am going to invert my colors today to a white text on black background for the remainder of my presentation, just to give you a feel for how you can customize things here. Notice to the right, that check mark just came alive, and that locator is around that option. So let's go to the upper left and back out of colors. And there's one more feature that I wanted to highlight here, and then I'm going to exit the user interface options. And this is a new option that's available in 1.5, the highlights from this presentation today: applications. So let's click on that, and you'll see applications. And these are the applications that are available to me in the carousel. And by default, the AI assistant is turned on, and the books application is turned on, and my distance application is turned off. I'll click on that to activate it, and now I will have an additional icon in my carousel when we exit out of the user interface in just a few moments. But I wanted to highlight this. One of the reasons that distance is off by default is because it does require that you have a second camera. So if you don't have a second camera to use for distance viewing, you wouldn't need to have this application turned on necessarily. So I'm going to activate it and demonstrate the AI functionality that we've added to distance in this presentation today as well. I don't see any chat questions, so I'm going to continue on here. Again, just feel free to chat those questions in if you have them. In the upper left, I'm going to back out of my settings here to my carousel, and you'll see that it has reconfigured itself now. So there's 3 icons on the screen now instead of just the one that we saw initially. And now I have 2 of 2 pages. That's big text at the bottom and center of the screen. So I can just click on my arrow and navigate to the second page of my available icons. So the first that I wanted to explore today is in the upper left. It's the magnifier. So I'll tap on that, and my magnifier application will open up. And we can zoom in and zoom out using our mouse wheel, or in the far bottom corner, there are a minus button and a plus button to zoom in and zoom out. I can also rotate. I'm not going to cover these intensely today, again, because of limited time to get through in 45 minutes. I'm really going to hone in on the new AI functionality. But you'll notice that there is a camera. It's the fourth from the bottom right. That would allow me to capture this page and translate this image into text that I could have read back to me using text to speech. But I wanted to highlight the AI functionality today, and that is the it's at the fifth from the bottom right. It's a little call out with 3 stars in it. So I'll click on this, and my AI dialog box will open up for me right now. And we can just begin to type into the box there. And underneath of it are some popular searches that we can choose from. And there's about 10 there. There's a scroll down bar on the right. But give me a quick summary of this document. It seems really useful right now. So I'm just going to tap on that. And you'll notice to the far right of the dialog there, my little paper airplane just activated. This is our submit button. It's common throughout Prodigy to have this as our submit or enter button. So I'll tap that now. We will go off to our services, and you will always be asked this question just very quickly to give you a sense of what we're doing. We're taking a picture of that page, sending it to our cloud services that are powered by ChatGPT 4.0. And we're rendering that image in the cloud with our service to bring it back to you. We don't save the image in the cloud, and nothing in our cloud services is shared out. It's in a secured server on AWS. And so anything that you do save in relation to your AI assistant is going to be saved locally on your system for your use only. So you can choose yes, and it will allow this to happen one time. I can use yes set as default, and it will retain my answer, and I won't see this screen again. I could say no, and I'll return to my live magnifier. And at the bottom is a details option. It will open up in sort of a simple explanation of what I just vocalized for you there. So we don't see this again today. I'm going to choose yes set as default. And we will send that question off to our cloud services. Sometimes the first question takes a little bit longer because we are rendering that image to get the text or the content of it. But here you see it has come back with an answer about what we're looking at. A big addition in this update is a reading toolbar that you see at the bottom. So we can now control the reading interface of our chat dialog here. So in the very bottom right corner is that plus symbol. This will allow me to increase the size of my font on the screen all the way to extra large to the maximum size. So I'm using those, and right to the left of it is a minus button. I'm going to bring it back to the standard size again. So right in the center is a play pause button. This toggles between play and pause. It's a right-facing triangle. I'll tap that real quick.
The document discusses 2 main topics: the benefits of a healthy diet and the impacts of climate change on global ecology.
I'll tap pause. So it toggles between a read button and a pause button. So that has been added. This whole toolbar has been added with this release. Let's say that I wanted to change some settings. We've added a gear wheel here. It's the 5th from the bottom right that allows you to adjust settings within the dialogue that you saw in just a moment ago. So you can change some speech settings. My system voice is Darius that you heard there. I can change the reading rate, and I can also down at the bottom change my fonts that are available within the text. So let's say I wanted to go to a regular font type. I'll just change that quickly. Back out in the upper left, and now I have a regular font type. So that was the only change that I made. Over in the far bottom left, there is a single left-facing arrow. This would return me out of the AI assistant to my live view. Not ready to do that just yet. Immediately to the right of it are 2 arrows, one facing right and one facing left. This allows me to toggle between my chat and the captured image that was sent to the cloud. So I can pan around on this to look at it. If it was in the wrong orientation to the bottom right, I could rotate it. I can zoom in and zoom out using buttons there. I can use my mouse wheel. If I was in a touch screen, I could pinch and squeeze on the screen. So if I forgot what my image was, I can revisit it here and maybe come up with some other questions I want to ask about what I've captured. In the bottom left, I'll tap that toggle button to toggle back to my chat. So I could continue on reading here. Another new addition in reading is I can with a finger press of 1 second or a mouse press of 1 second, initiate reading anywhere on this document that I see. So as I'm scrolling now, I come down to the second point here. I'll press for 1 second and release there.
2. Global ecology. It highlights the serious effects of climate change, such as rising.
So we now have the ability to point and click and start and stop reading anywhere within the chat as we're looking at a chat. So this again is new in version 1.5. So let's say that after looking at the image again, I had another question. I see my AI assistant call out down in the toolbar, fourth from the bottom right. It's got the 3 stars in it. So I click there and a chat dialog opens. So after I've asked my first question, now I have an additional option in my text dialog box here, and that is the ability to use voice to ask follow-up questions. So I see a little microphone in the dialog here. I'll click on that now. The first time you use it, you're going to be prompted or going to allow it to access the microphone. I'm going to say yes. Describe the image in the upper right corner of this document. You might notice that the microphone turned into a white square there, and I'm not sure why it didn't capture there. Let's try it again. Describe the image in the upper right corner of my document, please. And it's not capturing for some reason. I'll just type it in. The submit just came live, so I'll tap there. And here we have another response that goes with my chat there. So I'll have to see what's going on with my microphone there. It should have been working, so I will try it again on another page here. But at this point in our demonstration yesterday, we had a failure of the voice input. I'm still not sure exactly what happened there, but I did want to demonstrate it working properly. So I'm going to go into my files here and open that AI example. And again, the chat has been saved with the saved file that I can zoom in and zoom out on. That's the image. I'll click on my chat assistant. It's going to tell me again, do I want to share? I'll say yes. And you can see that my previous chats are all saved here, but I'm going to demonstrate the voice input now. I'm prompted, settings app, I'll say yes. Describe the image at the bottom of this document. Again, notice that it toggles between that black box and the microphone. So as I finished speaking, I tapped on that black box and we stopped recording your voice, and it has been translated from voice into text on the screen. It looks like exactly what I said there. So this is all good. If this was not what I wanted it to be, I could just tap the microphone again. It would erase what was there and re-record over it and input the new question. Or I could actually use my mouse, select all of this and this backspace over it and re-record it again. But this looks good. To the right, I'm going to tap on my submit button, that little paper airplane, and you'll see that the voice input is working and the question has gone to our cloud services and a response is sent back. So I'm inserting this into the demonstration video just so that you can see that voice input does work as intended. Again, I'm not sure exactly what went wrong. Maybe there was a conflict between Zoom and my microphone. We'll now continue with the recording from yesterday. I can now continue reading, continue asking questions by clicking on the AI assistant and so forth, toggle to the view of the document, and those types of things. Nothing has been saved to the cloud yet, and nothing has been saved locally at this point. In the bottom left corner is a back button. Tap there, and this is a new functionality. Would you like to save your chat? Yes or no? So the default is no, so you don't save things that you don't want, but I can navigate down and choose yes, and this will immediately save the image and my chat file into my files application so I can revisit this later and continue to ask questions if I would like. So that's an option that's available to you. I'm going to use the back button, although I do have the ability to toggle with buttons in the lower left between my distance and my document camera here. I'll use this arrow that points to the left and the bottom left. I just wanted to show that I turned on that distance icon here, and it is available in my carousel right now. So let's tap on that. And now we see my distance camera here. And the big change here is then, again, we've added, it functions the way that it has in the past with a zoom in and zoom out in the bottom right. The ability to capture and save is the third icon from the bottom right. But now we have the AI assistant is available in distance as well. So we'll click on to that. And I'll say describe this room. Now we will be adding the voice input here. To be honest, we ran out of time to go back and address some of these interface options on the first question. So it's always there after the first question. But the same process takes place here. We send it to the cloud. We remember the answer from the magnifier, and we send an image of the room off to the cloud, and it renders a response to us. So let's have it read a little bit of this. Using the toolbar at the bottom, looks the same as what we saw in the magnifier.
The room features a display with large banners on the wall. The banners promote products labeled Connect 12 and Reveal 16, with slogans emphasizing vision enhancement and ease of use. In the foreground, there are multiple electronic devices on.
And so it's a very good description of this room. But again, in the bottom left, there's those double arrows, or the second from the bottom right, that I can toggle and see the image that was captured and what it's coming from there. So I can toggle back to my chat. And if I wanted to ask additional questions, I just click on my AI assistant again there. I think I see a question in the chat there. Let's see what that is. Is the 99? Okay, there's a question about the count. So I will click on the AI button here, and you'll see the count down in the lower right here. That's the number of questions that I have available to me. I will add some clarity around this. Paid users get 25 questions per day. It usually resets around, give or take, around midnight each day to 25 questions. So 25 questions per day for a user of the software. We have increased this count for those that are using demonstration accounts like myself to 100 questions per day. And that's because we often find ourselves at conferences where we're showing this functionality throughout an entire day. So we need to have additional counts for those instances where we're at conferences. So a standard user would have 25 questions per day. Good question there. So I'm not going to ask a question at this time, but you'll see that that microphone is there if I wanted to as well. And I am going to back out of the distance application. So you can see that we've integrated the AI into that as well. And here again, we have the ability to save our chat. I'm going to say no today for this one and just return back to my live view for my distance camera. So the AI is fully available with the live document and distance camera views now. Bottom left corner, I'll tap and exit out. And I wanted to highlight next the third icon in the carousel here. It's the bottom left here, the large one that says AI Assistant. I'll click on that. And this is a pure chat and response Prodigy artificial intelligence assistant. So you can see that you can initiate a new chat. I'll click there. And let's say, what are the ingredients? Oh, let's go ahead and try it just to see. Let me try this microphone again and see if our mic is connected. What are the ingredients in an apple pie? I must have changed a setting or something. I'm not getting anything there, so let's just. I'll investigate that, and I apologize, everyone. It was working as usual before the presentation, and now it's not working. So here you can see we have a chat going and a list of the typical ingredients of an apple pie. I'm using my site to read right now, but we still have our toolbar, so we can have this read aloud.
The crust. Salt enhances the flavor of the crust. Unsalted.
Pause there. You can click and point to start reading from any location that you'd like. And let me ask a follow-up question. So the AI assistant's there. So if I wanted to ask a follow-up question, maybe what happens if I use salted butter. So you can have a chat back and forth on a specific topic here. So it gives me a good answer, adjustments to maintain the recipe and so forth. So we could have a long chat on this topic. And then in the bottom left, as I go to exit, I'm going to ask, do I want to save my chat? I'll say yes. And it's automatically going to save, and we will leave the AI assistant. When I come back to the AI assistant, again, we just did a new chat. There is a chat history. And at the very top of the list, we automatically save things with the date and time that they were created. If it's something that's too long to fit, you can long press to extend it out. You can right click to change the name. So I just right click on that date, and I'm just going to rename this to apple pie. In the upper right, that submit button's there again, that paper airplane. We'll tap that and you'll see that it's called apple pie. Below it, you can see other saved topics in my chat history, as well as some dates and times. And you can see that I must be pretty hungry whenever I demonstrate, because most of them are about food. But let's just take a quick look at poutine. I'll open that up, and you'll see it picks up where I left off with that chat. And I can continue to ask questions about poutine at the bottom. And I can then also, ask additional follow-up questions, have it read to me, and those types of things. So this full ability to save chats and revisit them is now available, and the AI assistant itself is just a pure chat and response type of AI, similar to what you might find in a chat GPT type of scenario. See two additional questions that have come in here. Yeah, it could be. You're correct, Andrew. Thank you for that. I think you're probably correct. It's trying to use my microphone for two purposes, and it is not enjoying that. And to be fair, I did test by myself using it. I didn't test it within Zoom, so that is on me, I think. But I will verify that when I send my follow-up. I'll make a quick note in my thank you email afterwards that that was in fact the case. Thanks, Andrew. I'm going to continue to books now. And there are a couple of updates here that I wanted to share with you. First, there were a number of new book library providers or book providers that were added. Chief among them, I'll click on Manage Libraries, and then I will click on Book Providers. A biggie that was added for our Australian and New Zealand friends is Blind Low Vision New Zealand is now available. But I wanted to highlight some that were added also between releases. So this might have slipped past you, but Bookshare Ireland, I'll scroll down now to lower in the list here. You'll see RNIB Bookshare and RNIB Reading Services have been added as well. So we added about 10 libraries between releases here. With those Bookshare Ireland, a lot of those being key among them. So let me just highlight by clicking on Bookshare here that in order to use these, you do have to go to those services to obtain a username and password for almost all of them. So you will need a username and password to log in and activate them within Prodigy. That is not something that we are offering to you. You go to Bookshare or RNIB, Bookshare, and so forth to get a username and password to use them inside of Prodigy. I'll click that back arrow in the upper left corner there. We'll back out. I'm not going to go into magazine providers today. Another new thing that we've added in for new users in version 1.5 at the bottom of the list here, Project Gutenberg, because it does not require a username and password, is just turned on by default. So you can immediately click on it and access it and start searching Project Gutenberg to download books. So I'll just go into their list very quickly to show a download, and let's see what some of the latest books that have been added are to Project Gutenberg. At this point in the demonstration yesterday, the Project Gutenberg download failed, and I wanted to demonstrate that functioning for you here. We did investigate and found out that there were some service outages yesterday with Project Gutenberg. So I'll click on the books application, open it up, click on Project Gutenberg, and I will just go to popular as an example here. we'll go search and you'll see that popular files open up. I'll click on Moby Dick in the list. Here we get a summary of what the book is about. In the bottom right, I can zoom in and zoom out. I can use my read button to listen to the summary. But the fourth in from the bottom right is a download option. I will click on that now. We will download that book. I could continue on. You can see I've got Romeo and Juliet down here. Anything with a check has been previously downloaded. In the upper left, I'll hit the back button. Again, there's a video that goes into depth about the book's application where you can learn more. But in the upper left, I'll tap one more time and I'll go into My Books now at the top of the list. And there you see Moby Dick as now downloaded. And I'll go ahead and open this up for you. So we can now download those books directly from Project Gutenberg. I just wanted to show that that functionality does work, and there was some sort of service outage yesterday with Gutenberg. Thanks. We'll continue on with the pre-recorded demonstration from yesterday. I apologize for that. Let me come back out and I'll go to my books here and I'll show you these two books are books that I downloaded, and I downloaded Pride and Prejudice this morning. So I'm not sure why I'm not finding anything right now. But again, Project Gutenberg is turned on by default. There's no username or password required to utilize the service. I'm going to go ahead and open Pride and Prejudice right now with a mouse click. And you can see that it comes in. This was added in version 1.4, so everything at the bottom was available. The ability to click a read button.
Majority of at least confident votes would, all things considered, be divided between Emma and the present book, and perhaps the vulgar verdict, if indeed a fondness for Miss Austen be.
So I'll click there. And you'll see that we have, in addition to bookmark and table of contents, the upper right is bookmark, bottom right corner is a table of contents or a navigation tool. In version 1.5 to our reading toolbar at the bottom, we've added the AI assistant here, that call out with 3 stars as well. We'll click there. And we send 2 things, although most of the answers are based upon the page that you're sending. We can't send an entire book to AI services in the cloud. It would be too much information to send. So we send the page that you're on and the information file that downloads when you download a book to the cloud. So I can click OK. It will accept this once. If you've internalized this information and you know that we're going to send 1 page and we are sending that info file, you can just say don't show again. So I'll just click OK here. And let's see what we can return here with a question. Who was Jane Austen? Bottom right, I'll click the submit button. And we get a return response there. So now you get a sort of sense of the flow, very similar to what we had going within the magnifier, the distance, and the AI assistant, although in this case, we're working with a text from a book file that we're working with. And we can then also continue to ask questions, zoom in and zoom out. The toolbar to the right down here, the controls are very similar to what you saw previously. With the settings, click the call out button there to ask additional questions. I'll click the back arrow, decided I didn't want to ask a question, back to my response, and I can click and play and so forth, the response that I got there. I'll click my back arrow on the bottom left corner here. That returns me back to a reading interface for the book itself. And then I'll click one more time on the bottom left. This will exit me back out of the book, out of the reading mode there that I'm in, which was page reading mode. And now I'm back in my books. I'll open Frankenstein here as an example, and I will click on in the toolbar at the bottom now, my AI assistant down there. This page only again. I'll say don't show again now. And you'll see I've got a pre-existing chat that I had been chatting in this book about. So that chat is available to me and it's saved alongside of this file. So if I were to return to Pride and Prejudice, that chat would open up where I left off and I could continue on with Pride and Prejudice, having a chat back and forth about that book as I navigate my way through that book. So we are now saving our chats with pretty much everything. I see some more questions here. Rookie question. Can info be extrapolated from AI chats and added to a doc, i.e. student? So we haven't got there yet. It's a good question, but we have not yet exported the chats out yet. And I see a question about getting this video after the session. Yes, this is being recorded, so I will share a link to a recording once we're all done here, and I send out the thank you after the presentation today. So that's a little bit about the AI functionality. Oops, I forgot one functionality in books that I wanted to demonstrate. Let me go back in there. Under my books, so again, there's the two that we've looked at. Those are both from Gutenberg. In the upper right, there's a settings gear there. I'll click on that. We now have the ability to import a book. The only types of books that we can import are EPUB files, specifically requested for our UK team, but available to everyone. And this will navigate me out into my operating system. I'll go to my desktop. And here you'll see I have an EPUB file folder on my desktop where I've downloaded some EPUB books with a couple of versions of Dr. Jekyll. One is in French, one is in English, bottom of my list there. Here's an example. You can now extend file names. So I'll long press onto that file name and it will extend it out so that I can see it. I didn't press quite right there, but it's extended out the name there so I can see the full file name. I'll click off of it. And now I'm back in my book. So it actually imported the book there while I just didn't press quite right on there. So I'm going to open this book up very quickly for you. So you can see the EPUB book has been imported in. And now I could do everything that I was just doing a few moments ago with those books from Project Gutenberg. So nice function there. If you get anything from a publisher, be it a book or a magazine, any sort of content that comes in EPUB format, you can import that now into the system. There's a question about adding additional questions for the AI, then 25 per day. Presently, we're not offering sort of an upgraded premium service, but it is certainly under consideration. So right now, 25 is the max that we're offering per day. Okay. So I'm going to tap in the lower right, the navigate button forward, and I'll open up my files very quickly here just to show you an example. I'll tab forward here one to show you an AI example that I had previously saved. So this was an image similar to the one that I demoed earlier. And the image was saved. So it's in my files now because I saved it and renamed it AI example. And my toolbar on the bottom right has that AI assistant available to me. I can click there and you'll see I have a chat that was associated with it. So similar to what we saw with the books a moment ago. I see here's a saved chat with the captured image. And I can continue on asking questions about this saved image file that I have in my files. You can do a similar type of thing with distance files that are captured and saved, as well as anything that you import in and start asking questions about. We will automatically save your chat attached to those imported files. And again, we import docx, txt, JPEG, and PDF file formats. So if you import any of those into your system, you can then start to chat about them and save that chat right alongside of them. Very quickly, a couple of wrap-up thoughts here. I have about 4 minutes to go. In the settings, I wanted to highlight one other functionality here, and it is in System. There is the fourth item in the list is the ability to feature lock. And presently, the only feature that we're having locked, and we'll be looking for feedback on this, is the ability to feature lock the Prodigy Assistant. So right now, it's a little bit awkward because there's not multiple to choose from. So you would typically see several here with locked or unlocked state. But my Prodigy Assistant is unlocked. I want to lock it everywhere. And then I want to, at the top of the list, turn my feature lock on. So I'll click on that. And as I go to exit in the upper left, I'll be asked to give a password, and I'll use a very plain one, Prodigy lock. And in the upper right, there's that submit or enter button. I'll tap that. And now that Prodigy Assistant will be locked the next time I log in. It does require you to log in and log out of Prodigy for that to take effect. Because of time, we're running out. Won't, but in order to go back in and go into System and go into Feature Lock, you'll see that I have to now enter my password to go in and change those settings again in there. And now that password is gone, and it will be fully available after reboot of Prodigy and so forth. There is a full video for this online. So I have covered a lot of what's new there. There's a few other things under the hood. Within your files, when you update, there will be release notes, version 1.5, that will tell you all of what's new. But you can also go to the help application here, which I wanted to highlight a couple of things here. First, you can click on documentation, and this will open up for you our web page for Prodigy, and you'll see the user guide is updated, and you will see the different documents that are available for this update, including what's new in version 1.5. And further down, you'll be able to access YouTube right from there. But you can also access YouTube, our playlist for Prodigy here, directly from software. Will open that page. I will scroll down here and show you that new videos have the word new in front of them, so they go along with this release. So anything that's new says new right at the front end of the video that's there. And I've also added this one using Ray-Ban meta glasses, so you can use them to view. You can use AI Assistant. You can listen and use them for voice input with Prodigy. So there's a video about that that's available to you now. And last, but certainly not least, we need feedback. Anytime you're using the software, feel free to click on this, and you can come in here and fill out this simple form. Tell us how we're doing. Just tap on Prodigy, and you can see all of our other products that are listed there, and give us feedback. The voice of customer is very helpful to us in our development of the software. So that was a whirlwind tour of what's new. I have time to take additional questions. I'm switching back to the PowerPoint here. And so this is a Q&A period here. I'm going to go to the last slide here, and I am going to launch a closing poll. If I can get to it here. Back here, let's do this closing poll. So I'll launch that out to you, and I'll take any questions that you have. I see one that came in through the QA tool, so let me open that up. Will there be a feature? Okay, so there's a question here. I don't know if you're seeing that on screen, but will there be a feature to annotate onto a captured image, e.g. for a school student's worksheet? Yeah, we're working on those functionalities. They will be added just based upon feedback from customers with the artificial intelligence features that we added. There was a strong voice of customer to expand that functionality out. So that's what you saw today is a wide range of implementation of the artificial intelligence throughout all of the different applications in Prodigy for Windows. So feel free to continue to shoot questions through. We'll certainly answer any that come in. So the poll questions are, was this webinar useful to you? And then there's a extended response. Any thoughts that you would like to share? Again, you saw a moment ago that feedback link, so feel free to use that. We're up at the 45 minutes that was scheduled for this. I realize it was a whirlwind, but there are videos that go in depth into all of the features that I shared today, as well as the basic functionalities of Prodigy for Windows. I want to thank everyone for joining today, and I'll wait another moment for folks to finish answering the poll. And feel free to log out at your convenience, but thanks again. And again, I will send a link to a recording of this video later on today or first thing tomorrow. Arts One Plus, I see you had your hand raised to speak, so I've allowed you to unmute yourself if you want to speak.
Yes, hi everyone. Just a quick question from me. For those who are using the trial, how can we update to this new version if you're still in the 14-day trial?
You can uninstall and then you can install the new trial. It does require an uninstall though.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Things have slowed down on the poll, so I'm going to go ahead and end the poll and close out the webinar. Again, thank you for attending today. Feel free to send any questions to us via our feedback loops or email us directly. Thanks again. Bye-bye.